Over 7,000 years ago, God gave us a libation. And now this divine beverage is brewed in every nation, on every continent,
except one.
from far away to near. Humanity can all agree we love this thing called beer! There's Budweiser from St. Louis,
Leaning out OPA.
Coors in Colorado,
We even left the USA. Labatt up in Canada, the land of ice and snow. You don't even need a cooler when it's 40 below.
Dos Equis down in Mexico, or Corona with a lime. It's such a shame so many beers, so very little time. From Brazil to Argentina,
From Peru or Ecuador. Todos hechos sus cervezas. They grant some more.
or fill my glass up to the brim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set them up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer, we're gonna drink them all.
What about the Middle East?
Well, that's where it all began. They say the first beer was brewed in modern day Iran, or Lebanon, or Jordan. Well, hey, they make beer too.
Don't forget Gold Star in Israel. Who knew the Jews could brew?
Oy vey.
Tooheys in Australia.
Or maybe Carlton Draft. Try to keep up with the Aussies,
And you'll end up on your wow!
Fill my glass up to the brim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set them up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer, we're gonna drink them all.
There's beer from Scandinavia.
Belgium, France, and Spain.
So raise your glass bottoms up and fill them up again.
That's it.
England,
Guinness,
Ireland.
Headings from the Scots.
Fine Steffen even Weiss beer.
Reinheitsgebot! Czech Republic, Poland, Russia.
China to the east. They all make delicious beers with barley, hops, and yeast.
Don't have yourself a big name brew.
Or better, brew your own.
But enjoy that beer, cause one thing's clear.
You ain't drunk at home! Fill my glass up to the rim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set them up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer. We're gonna drink them all!
Drink!
Cheers!
Cheers! Drink! So original, cheers!
Slanja!
Sláinte! Not Ireland! Sláinte from Ireland!
That's right. May the devil know you're not dead. Oh, why I screwed that one up.
But it's hard for a German to be an Irish guy.
That's right. So, we'll just pay homage to Germany and say, Prost!
Roast! And may you be in hell half an hour before the devil knows you're there.
Yes, in Ireland they would appreciate that.
Okay?
L'chaim!
L'chaim! Yes, for our Jewish friends. What else we got?
Come by!
Goodbye! Off to Japan with Asahi and
A little over to the west of Japan, we have Russia, Nostrovia.
way far west of Japan, Nostrovia, which I keep calling Nokia because I'm stupid.
And then, wait, we have some Zulu friends.
Yes, down in Africa, Bajabule!
How do we say that?
Bajabule! What else we got? Salud! Both Spain,
Salud!
Latin America, and Italy.
Chin-chin. Bajabule.
Bajabule. Yes, exactly.
I don't know if we have any South African people today.
If we do, we will honor them.
That's how we got Africa into the song, remember? Had a hard time finding beers in Africa.
Yeah,
At least we can acknowledge Africa.
yeah, that was it.
Because
Mac and Jack Africa.
Yeah, it's just Amber.
Not
Africans
really from
really
Africa,
drink
though.
this. Do you know this? Hey, the song's over. Welcome to another episode of Northwest Brewmeisters. My name's Jamey.
I am the Steve.
We are two guys from the Northwest who like beer.
Think you should too.
Yes. Talking about Africa. The fact that our opening song really hard to get all those countries in. I tried really hard. Some of the easy ones, Germany, yeah, that's easy. England,
Yeah.
England is amazingly easy. You know, France, okay, yeah. Then some of the others, researching the beers, found out Foster's is not the beer from, yeah, I mean, apparently it is from Australia, but it's right up there with,
Yeah, it's like Milwaukee's best of us.
yeah, it's like the football guys or
Having been in Australia,
rugby guys.
I know, right?
That's what the rugby guys drink.
Having actually visited Australia before, 6 times to be exact. When they laughed because the people I had asked about it said, yeah, we chuckle when Americans come over to Foster's. They think it's just like this unique Australian thing. Nah, they can't Foster's over there. It is their piss beer.
Not the icon of
No,
Australia.
if you want to drink a good Australian beer that the locals drink, drink Cooper's.
Tui's?
Tui's.
Maybe Tui's? That's good, because Tui's is what's in the song.
Victoria Bitter is another one that folks like. Another one called Redback is pretty popular for. I don't know what part of Australia they're. There's both a
Right. Well, much like Africa.
continent.
Continent. And that's another thing that made it hard. It's like, beer from Africa.
Oh, you don't hear about beer from Africa.
But they make beer. Beer is made everywhere, literally. It's even made in Antarctica. I guess their chill times chill to 100 degrees as fast as possible. They're like, that's the easy part.
That took like a quarter of a second.
It's getting to boiling. That's the hard part.
It's like, oh, we gotta lower the wort. Hold on, open the door for a second. All right, it's good.
All right, and we are chilled. Frostbite.
You're frozen solid again.
And then, no lie, because the African tongue language is so foreign to our West American.
They're not letting me.
Yeah, we went through a bunch of when we were doing the toasts at the end, the various toasts. So slancha, if you just read it, would be hard because it's Lainte.
Yeah.
Which in American would be like slanty, slant,
Leonti or
Lainte. It's like no, but slancha. Right? But Steve happened to know that one. Prost, okay. Actually. Cheers. Yeah, we got that one.
Got that one.
Cheers, that one.
He only has one syllable.
Yeah. Japanese one we already knew. Kampai, right.
Kampai.
So, kampai. We didn't read that one. Said it. Probably spelled it wrong. Actually, I probably spelled it right because when you take, like, the Japanese and Chinese, any of those languages, transform them into English, like, put them to, they're all phonetic.
Yeah.
Because they're not spelled in English letters originally. Spelled
Right.
Kanji. Several, they have different names, but all those kind of pictographic alphabet. So that one, so I spelled it Kompai. It's either Kampai. Ting Ting, what was Ting Ting? Actually, it's.
Oh, that was Chinese.
Okay, salute we knew. But the point being, all this jabbering, is freaking African. When spelled in English, you're just like,
You do.
I got nothing. But Bajabule came up. Like, I can pronounce that one. Probably spelled it wrong, probably pronounced it wrong. If you are of the Zulu tribe in Africa, because they're the Zulu, if they're across it.
I thought that was South Africa.
South African?
I thought you said it was from South
Well, it's Zulu. Find out where the
If you're a Zulu, let us know in the comments below.
anyone who is of Zulu descent, please let us know.
Or
and
we
also,
can just look it up, but yeah.
you're gonna have to send a voice recording of how to say Bajabule.
I think it sounds French to me in a sense.
It does, but you know,
Which makes sense because I mean, if it's South Africa was isn't that region kind of founded by
Dutch. So the
Okay.
Afrikaner, or the white South African, or native African,
Right.
raised and
Elon
born.
Musk, yeah.
You know, they've never lived in the Netherlands ever.
No, but yeah, the part of the region, the skin tone is light down there.
Yeah,
because
so-
of the.
At least I think. Ways. I have to look at deeper. And that's where you get that Afrikaner language, which is not at all. It's language all of its own. Arcon de Alabama. Oh. Basically about a ship, the Alabama, coming into port. I sang it when I was this tall. This. Yeah, that. Whatever that language.
Picture of.
They're really showing.
We are really educated. We're just not doing it
in
right.
That.
Not doing it right.
We can read. We know how to read. We're guessing, but that's what we always do.
I
Hey,
are
who's
read.
Who's that actor in that movie? I don't know. Was it this? No.
No,
it's
no,
like, what's
this-
the name of the
what's
movie?
the
It's
name of the movie?
this. Look like he looks. Yes, he does. Heck no! I
No.
hate my phone.
Let's just keep speculating.
Yeah,
and
let's
figure
just
it out.
keep guessing and get this thing with
Guess
a good
and speculate
answer.
about this person, and we might find it. We might accidentally get it right.
Like pellicle. And actually, film develops on the top here. It's usually. It does not mean your beer is ruined. Got something in there, and it's purpose. It actually has a purpose, and the purpose of pellicle is out. Whatever little buggies are like oxygen. Pellicle. Very well made. We're dealing with.
It was very minimal, but I was just like, ooh.
Looks weird. It does. It looks all scuzzy and.
It wasn't a lot. I looked it up. I looked up, and some people had posted pictures like a beer brewing forum. Theirs looked like a jungle. I was like,
Yeah, some of that stuff is it.
mine just had a couple little bubbles on the surface. It looked like they were fuzzy on one eye.
But the
Yeah.
truth is, man, you got to be brave. But taste it. It
That's-
doesn't
that's what
mean
I
it's
did.
ruined. Like it's weird. Because you were the one that told me. Never verified it. Word. Beer doesn't support any poisonous
toxins,
bacteria
yeah. You're
or
not gonna-
toxic bacteria.
You're not gonna die from anything.
It might taste like barnyard, but tastes like. So anyone who does, in
Let
the
us know.
comments, thank you.
Let us know at Barnyard.
But yeah, it's. Okay, we do.
Yeah, so I did taste it as I racked the beer into a keg and transferred it into a keg. Careful not to suck down that stuff on the top, which most of it stuck to the side of the carboy as the beer level lowered and lowered. It's
Right.
kind of stuck to the side. And then I took a sample off to the side and I tasted it. It tasted fine. Give me a strong beer. It's the not the Mac.
Irish Death.
Irish Death clone that I.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be in the end. It's supposed to be like Irish Death. It's definitely strong like Irish. Wondering if those cocoa nibs are.
Irish Death is not.
It must have been for. I did look up the recipe after I thought about that. I don't know if I decided to get brave and be like, well, I'm going to put cocoa nibs. I guess not. Maybe that was for some reason for me to. I'd only buy them if it was on. So. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So in a week, we'll find out what this beer tastes like. More than that, because we here.
Oh, Go armed.
Oh, I probably will.
Friggin' Seattle, jeez.
Yeah, we're spending the weekend down there because we got the Metallica concert. 2 days. We got tickets for both shows.
Leak?
Yeah, remember I told you about that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, Metallica. First show is Friday, this coming Friday night, and doing a completely no repeat. Second show, completely different Sunday night. But
Nice.
since it's Seattle, we're not going to drive there and back. Just drive back.
Yeah.
So we decided this is spend. And since my friend lives down there, he said, "Oh, you can just stay at my place."
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
he's saving me.
A lot of money.
Now,
Not some money, Steve.
Now,
a lot
parking,
of money.
well, parking might be an issue. He recommended just taking the train there, but
Ooh, you could take the light rail.
using Ubers and stuff. But I don't know about that. Freedom to be able to.
Yeah, leave. If I want to leave at 2:03, I can leave at 2:03. I don't have to wait until
I
the
don't
train
want
shows
to. I don't
up.
want to wait on Ubers and stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's really no matter where you are in America, our public transit, nothing.
Right, theirs is very efficient.
Well, there's not only is there's very efficient, but it goes everywhere. Whereas ours kind of has restricted. There's a lot of places you take the bus to. You're gonna take the train or the bus or whatever point, and then it's not gonna be like, oh, walking distance. So you're getting a cab now.
Right.
It's
we
another
figured we just-
15, 20 miles to where you want to go.
Rather than Ubering around, if we figured if depending on the parking situation, we don't plan to do a whole. He lives. House is literally down. I still kind of want to take a beat.
Oh, I get it. I would.
In case we need to leave.
Seattle is not impossible.
No, it's not the getting around. It's just the parking.
Yeah, parking's a pain, but even then,
It's going to be
not,
expensive to park.
not as bad as like New York City.
Oh yeah.
It's like literally, that's one place. Don't bother if you want into New York City. Outside.
That's kind of the idea of those park and rides. The train way stuff getting around, and then which is a good idea if I was just going to do it for the day. But
Right.
spending the weekend,
Well, the problem is depends on how you enjoy things. And we weren't buying anything. We bought food and a little tiny knickknack. And
souvenir here and there.
found some training chopsticks. They are funny.
I know what those are. Yeah, they got the rubber band with the paper in them, and
Yep.
you mix it easy.
Oh, these were molded.
Oh,
They
were actually
upgraded and
these are
molded
like
with the
legit,
little
huh?
finger cups. Put your
Ah.
fingers in and stuff.
This is where you hold your finger.
You know what? Jaime is ethnically pure. As in Chinese food. I'll set the whole table with forks. He'll take his fork, put it away. Fine, we have a whole bunch. We have a whole bunch of like disposable chopsticks. He'll grab the disposables and apart. And it's like, all right, I'm taking 4 hours to eat noodles.
You're gonna eat soup with chopsticks?
They slurp that.
Hold the bowl like this. Chopsticks will get the noodles in your mouth, and you go. That's exactly how you do. That's how you do it. It's normal. There's no. It's not considered rude to slurp your soup.
The other
Slurp
option
your
is
soup
to
in Japan.
spin your chopsticks really fast and open your mouth. It's kind of messy. I recommend option.
But you got to hold the bowl up to your mouth.
I do it.
That's a Western thing.
I am Western. I don't even.
No, I didn't say it was wrong. I
Yeah.
just said that's not how they do it there. You hold both with one hand, your chopsticks with the other hand.
Actually, we did run into with a lot of the miso. There were spoons.
Yeah, those weird flat
They're
spoons.
funky shaped spoons, wide and shallow, but it was still a spoon. Probably saved Jaime's life because it's wide and shallow. So when death soup got a little bit, all that stuff.
Was it really spicy? Or?
It would blow your head off. And you like spicy food.
I like spicy.
I took a small sip. That much. No, Steve. I took a sip. I couldn't feel my mouth because that was 3rd-degree burns.
Oh.
My lips were burning. My face around my lips were burning. My nose was burning. My eyes were burning. Not watering, Steve. Burning.
What
It
was
was
in it?
death. Raw death, undiluted. They just poured some in.
Probably some kind of extract.
That was the last time we ate anything colored red in Japan. Like, what about that? It's red.
No, not even cherry.
Not taking
But
a
it's
chance.
cherry.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably
Probably
cherries.
hot cherries.
Yeah, hot cherries that burn your head off. No.
Probably cherry
it was-
bombs.
Yeah, it was crazy.
No, I don't think I've ever had anything like Thailand. Yes, but
This
no.
was spicy. We managed to finish. Me and Jaime.
I'm gonna do this.
Oh, it was painful. I think all the weights half an hour. Actually, there was no reaction after
Right.
that. But just the eating process was so. I think that's God's blessing to us. It's like after that, that's enough.
You're good now.
Yeah, poor Jaime. He was gonna eat it all, but he's oh stop. I hadn't really gotten too far into my ramen noodles, and I just gave.
Here you
Just
go, buddy.
Need these noodles because that's gonna hurt. And it did for a good 2 hours. With nothing red. Don't bark. Didn't even try and warn us. Come on, it was obvious we were Western. Obvious.
Oh, they wanted to see that. They were just like, "Hey, come, look at these Westerners. Look at these gaijing." You know.
Look at this. This is gonna be funny. Not funny. We've been here 4 times. We've given you good money. We are nice people. Like
Right.
we
We're
read
not-
how to be
We're
in
not
Japan.
boisterous, rude Americans like
Yeah.
I encountered in Italy. I'll tell you that story. I was embarrassed to be an American when I.
All right, he's gonna tell you about the embarrassing Americans in Italy right
Oh.
after I tell you
I
about
say,
my
yeah, what do
beer.
you make it, man?
I am making pale ale number 2, and it is so simple I don't even need this. It is 1056 yeast, 8 ounces of Carapil, 8 ounces of Crystal 10, 8 ounces of Munich, 1 pound of dextrose, and then 1 ounce of Cascade hops, minutes, 1 ounce of Cascade 0 minutes. That's it.
Question. How do you dextrose?
Because, yeah, it's a pale ale. Right, so, well, that's why the hops didn't. I wanted to make something different, and I was talking it over with Ben,
okay.
and I was like, we talked about some of the flake stuff, but it's a pale ale, and making a pale ale with more.
And it defeats the
No.
purpose.
Not the direction.
Supposed to be pillows are supposed to be like light, kind of.
Right,
You know?
light and crispy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, maybe we could make it more crispy. He's like, yeah, add a pound of dextrose. What I might do though is I might switch the recipe. Might make this again and give it another shot at it, because I think the ABV. I'm not afraid of strong beers, but high ABV is not my goal ever.
Is this a hunting camp beer or is this a?
No, this is a drinking beer.
Okay.
But like I was saying, high ABVs are not my goal. That is never my goal. In fact, low ABVs are better because I are.
Yeah, if I make a high ABV, it's not because of the ABV. I'm making it because I want to high the beer.
Right, and just the various things. It's like, well, that's kind of
this is
how
gonna
it
be a
turned
high
out.
one.
It's gonna be a high
Right.
octane beer.
I mean, it's a fact of brewing. Put a lot of fermentables in there, you're gonna have a higher ABV.
yes, that is
I mean,
just going to happen.
It's gonna happen, man. Part of the chemistry.
You know, now some guys they
Science.
what not science. Some guys they really concentrate and they really work to get high ABV. You have high alcohol tolerance and they'll drive them up to 11, 12%. By the way, I've had 11, 12% beers. Go ahead and fix that. That's a problem. They're not good. They taste like they have whiskey in them.
Some of them do.
You have mentioned you had a couple that were
A couple, yeah. It's been far and few between that I've had anything over 8% that doesn't taste like alcohol.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the brewery is, but the name of the beer is Dragon's Milk. And it's milk stout is the style, so it's thick and but according to the bottle, it's an 11% ABV, and I had a couple of those a few weeks ago. A friend of mine get together and had some, and he was like, "Here, man, you can have them." So I drank 2 of them. Interestingly enough, they come in a 4-pack. Why?
Yeah.
Anyway, I did not taste the alcohol in those dragon's milk. Actually an enjoyable drink. Like I said, a little heavy. Like made me feel full, kind of like a Guinness would, but less soy sauce flavor, in my opinion. So, yeah, but they were strong, and I definitely, after those 2, I definitely felt it. But the point was, I didn't taste the alcohol. So good job, whatever brewery makes those, because did it just right. Oh shit, my Scottish Wee Heavy was accidentally high octane.
Yeah, geez, that one was through the roof.
It was like
10 plus.
10 point something. That was purely accidental. I knew it was going to be higher. I expected like an 8% because of all the fermentables that went into it. It had like 11 pounds of. Anyway, yeah, doing the gravity readings on it was like 10.2, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna taste like alcohol. We drank on it, and it was good. You had to be careful because
it was potent. Call for a ride home.
You drink 2 of them, and it's like, I'm not driving.
Yeah. How late you staying? Another 2.
Yeah.
Can I beer? No. No.
I have Coors Light.
Oh, is that really beer? No, I'm gonna be fruit juice. Have that.
Even enough Coors Lights will give you.
Oh yeah,
there's alcohol. So yeah, there are good beers out there that have high levels of ABV, but there are some. One of the examples of an awful one was at a local brewery, Alamogordo, New Mexico. That name, if it means anything to anybody, they might recognize it. Anyway, I had family that lived there, and one after I was already in the military, and Uncle and I were like, let's go find a place to get a beer. Supposedly there's this brewery here now too, because that town's tiny. I mean, we're just surprised to hear that they had a brewery. This was over 20 years ago.
Right.
Anyway, so we go in there, and they had this thing they called the. Anyway, so we're like, it's good. Good finish. Like, worse.
It just tasted
like. Yeah, it wasn't good. You could taste the alcohol. Whatever they did to just make the beer just didn't have a good flavor. I think even if it was lower ABV, I don't think it would have been a very good. Yeah, we drank those and then we left.
Or half of those?
About half of them, yeah. It's just like, sorry, man. Can't do these.
Yeah. Well, my experience has been that it's been more miss than hit.
Yeah.
My friend gave me Christmas for Christmas. He knows I like beers. Also a 4-pack. It was like winter. And I don't know. It was Christmas, and we weren't doing. Found an open beer. Having a good day, and I was like, beers that I got for Christmas. Oh, this is weird. I didn't look at the age. Really, what's going on? It was the next day. Happened Sunday. It doesn't matter. All I know is I didn't have to work. I picked up the can from the recycling. 10.8 under this didn't. And what is Ewan's Scotch Ale? No. Oh,
yeah, gross.
Like, why don't you just buy a good whiskey and torture yourself that way?
Seriously, it's supposed to be a beer, but it tastes like a whiskey.
Right. Well, that's the problem when you make your beer taste like whiskey. It's not good whiskey.
Yeah.
It's also not good beer.
Not good
so
beer.
you have crap both drinks.
Ruin 2 things.
Yeah. It's like, get yourself a good whiskey. If you want whiskey? Get a good whiskey. I don't like whiskey at all. I don't like hard alcohol. I only like beer. That's the only one. Some hard ciders, once in a while, really cold, really sparkly, and really sweet.
Yeah,
so, I like wine coolers.
I had my day.
I like wine coolers. Don't judge me.
I had my day after experience where I looked at the bottle. It's like, oh, mine was a New Year's Eve party. Back home, bought some Dogfish Head. They make various IPAs, ales, IPAs. They're about a 6-packer. They're standard 60-minute IPA, which is like 6. And then they have a 90-minute IPA, a 4-pack. That's weird. Dude, grab 2 of those. Party. And drinking, having some beers, and that's probably 3 or 4, 5. Probably less than 5. Anywhere between 2 to 4 beers. Like piece of smoke, and we're stepping outside. We'll have a cigarette. I feel so. I only had like 2 or 3 beers, Way more. I feel like that level I was. I wasn't like hammered, but I was just like
Definitely feeling it.
definitely feeling it more than I should at this point. Anyway, night carried on. Had a good time. Next day, and then I looked at the bottle. There were 9%. I was like, oh, that explains it. Same thing, man. It's like I felt it the next.
Oh, moving a little slower.
Oh yeah, it was just kind of like, yeah, we're gonna take today easy. New Year's Day and a year. Probably hot, even though.
That's Texas. Getting close to that equator place.
Been near the
I've been across the equator.
Dude, a couple times. But I went to Darwin, Australia, which is it's just south of the equator, but it's northern Australia.
Uh-huh.
You're in that area, you're in that zone. Items, large critters. Don't necessarily mean bugs either.
Is that pie?
It might have been. I don't know. Weird. We were on this Australian. Had us staying in these little trailer, 4 doors on them. Little bear. And little.
No windows.
Oh, there was a window, but thankfully,
okay.
one little window. So thankfully, I had a laptop to watch movies. And there was another trailer. That was where you had like showers and it was barracks,
Right.
Two barracks, but it was very minimal. Anyway, I remember hanging out in my room one night, and for some reason, something compelled me to look outside the window. There was this animals up there, like on the barracks bed, just probably platypus. I don't know what it was. I'm just, what the hell is that? Strange creatures, man. And of course, a lot of bugs and critters.
Oh yeah.
Big spiders, like if you're skittish about that stuff. Yeah, Australia up there in Darwin area is dangerous. They told us, they're like, hey, mate, and everybody, they're like, we had to do like a safety brief. I was there as a member of the Navy, there for. Said, all right, Darwin kind of thing. Go out, don't get off the road at night. Road. You're off and don't explode. We'll probably get killed by critters and stuff. Creatures out there.
Really weird because we have one of the most nasty animals on the planet, and the grizzly bear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll walk through the
I was
woods.
gonna say, what, humans?
Well, humans are the most lethal, most dangerous, depending on which of us you run into.
I know, right?
Because I don't understand city people who are so afraid of the woods. It's like you do realize that the environment you live in is 1,000 times more dangerous than any wildlife area at night. I would rather walk all the way across the Rocky Mountains, only traveling at night, than walk through downtown New York at night. Like, no, that place is so much more dangerous.
Freaks come out at night.
Yes.
Walking across the Rockies at night. Yeah, you're just on out there.
Well, seriously, I mean, I've seen bears and things like that.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. I've never been up and close and personal with like a big grizzly, but I've been in parks where a viewer can't see this, but where that basketball thing is, I've seen a bear about that close, like a black bear, foraging. He just kind of looked at us and back to his work. He didn't. I've had cubs closer, which made me hightail it.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
We were
I'm glad you
walking,
smart enough to do.
we were walking, and I kept seeing. We're on a trail, and I kept seeing like side bushes and stuff moving this. And we got up close, and I look over. I'm like, oh, that's a bear cub. We need to go. And it was a little bear cub just playing in a bush. Like if there's a cub there, that means Mama's not too far away.
That's right.
And like, let's
Mama
go,
is somewhere.
let's go. So it's like we kept moving,
Apart.
We were like, let's get out of here. We did. I didn't want to take any chance. But I've been that close to bears, and they didn't care about. Now, grizzly probably would have eaten. I mean, but
well, it depends. I mean, because if they're really well fed, that's like you see pictures up in tons of 40, 50.
bear doesn't care because it's
Right,
yeah.
right, and fish are so much tastier and easier, and they don't bite back. Those crunchy humans are hard to catch. Bite back. It hurts. That's right. Animal world, it is least caloric expenditure for maximum caloric gain. That is the whole thing.
What do you think the smallest cow?
Smallest thing?
Yeah.
Well, a 12 gauge with slugs, very
Slug.
popular. So that's roughly a 50 cal
Right.
in a rifle full, right?
What
50.
about a pistol?
Oh, people use 45s and 44s. You can go anything below that. Because those are fairly big hand. Go the Magnum versions, probably better. Or Mag. I mean, those things punch big holes, but there have been reports of those bears collecting 30 caliber bullets. 30 caliber rifle round has more punch. 45 AC, or even a 44 Magnum handgun. 44 Magnum is a huge hand. Go up to the 50 cal or the 454 Casull. Those are just hand cannons. But those are just toy guns. They're really big. They're really powerful, but they are.
You're not going to use them.
Right. I mean, even if you were some sort of open carry, heavily armed, whatever, you're a mercenary, you still would. And
They're not practical.
That. You use a long rifle of some sort. And you would have a sidearm, 9mm, a 45,
sidearm,
something that's reasonable that you can carry around. Because weight is a factor. Weight on foot, carrying your weapons. Just ask me, going hunting, weight is a factor. John carries.
Oh, no, I just carry it.
But my friend John, he carries a 45-70. That's one heavy gun. And he carries it without a string. He's holding the gun. That thing will punch a hole in you. It'll punch a hole. I mean, it'll be the size of a quarter going in. It'll be the size of your window going out. It is just. We were doing.
And that's what we call kinetic.
Yes.
It has to transfer somewhere.
We did the end of hunting season. Out. We had this big stump. I've got my 270. My dad's got his 300 short mag. I forget what Bob was shooting. 7mm. Anyways, John, we're all shooting at this stump. John freaking, he goes last. Shoots it once with that 45-70 and it explodes. Boom! It's like, well, we're done.
All right.
I don't know if you hit the target because we had a paper plate.
Oh.
I don't know if you hit that, but the stump is gone.
There's nothing left. Reese didn't do it again.
I don't think they care about us.
They don't care. I don't think they watch our podcast.
Is it a podcast? That's what I think these video things, I think podcast, that term has come.
I think you're right. We're just people talking for video. We're still just talking.
Yeah.
I know some of the podcasts I listen to on my podcast app are like Moocast.
Simulcast?
But they're planned. They're organized. I like listening, especially when I'm working. Like today when I was finished one that had started a couple days ago, finished a complete one. They're roughly an hour.
Ready for it. Yeah, one stick.
Yeah, I guess we can call this a podcast because even though we are doing a video capture, anybody listening, just listening, probably still envision stuff we're just.
Well, occasionally we'll say something that accompany with some hand gesture or point, like basketball.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
But then again, anybody watching the video, they wouldn't see it.
I can't see the basketball.
How far is the basketball hoop?
So
it's 1,000 yards away.
Maybe 15 to 20 feet away is what I was pointing, roughly.
Yeah.
Close that. He was just foraging it.
Yeah, you're not their primary prey. Although here's what I've heard. People who are even get attacked by a bear during the day. Playing dead is a pretty good option. If you get attacked by a bear during the night, fight for your life. Because there's only one reason a bear is coming upon you. Because he smelt you, decided you were prey, and was going to eat you. You got a ladle?
Oh, I will shortly. So I'm bringing your stuff out because the house is actually cool.
And it is out here?
Yeah. Just gonna put this over here. So that put some of that warmth will help. Remember, I put the yeast packs like under a trio cabinet light bulb just to generate a little bit of heat. Yeah, the house. Good. I wanted to stay that way.
Yes. Do that way.
Hey. Kind of anomalous weather. I'm like, wow. I actually felt cold last night.
Yeah, with that little cold front with the rain and the thunderstorms that come along with it. So. My tripod. What else I have to do before I came over here? Um. I use my knife a lot. I mean, it's not dead dull.
Dry stuff.
Yeah, we gotta dump the DME.
You have scissors.
I think I'll be alright.
Okay.
I'll be alright.
All right. Be fine.
You'll be fine. The woeful state that Hollywood's in. Woeful. I mean, it's interesting how there's a strong argument that people like any of them others, they get more views. People would rather watch these guys do their critique than watch the film. I want to watch the film. I want to watch you tear it apart. And part of it is because the studios have established a reputation at this point. Guys like you and I, we don't even want to watch. Like we already know what we're going to face. We don't want that. What we want is a high action, low plot. Big, strong action hero, smart, sexy, love interest. Guy gets the girl, everything makes sense and great. But no,
They're old fashioned.
big, high action hero doesn't know if he's a man or a woman as he kicks everyone's ass. Then he kills everyone with a gun, then feels guilty about it because he believes in gun control. The problem with these things is they could actually be really funny things. I mean, the conflicted power hero,
Right.
except they're not portrayed as funny. They're portrayed as these serious messages you have to deal with. Like, why didn't you advocate film speech by somebody who's advocating for the soundtrack? Not good sound. Speech. There's only so much you can do with a speech. They pomp and circumstance for 17 seconds, 1,000 times. By the way, I went. I hate pomp because it was only not like they played the whole song and then
Just
played
like-
a different song. They started it over for every chief, and I was just like, I gotta go stand watch or clean the dust off the grooves on the airplane's tires. Anything
Something.
but this.
Can I have a spoon? I'm gonna go clean Pat Eyes. You know?
Yes. Please, please. What am I looking for? Oh. Looking
Probably,
for... Straight up 100%able.
It is percentable.
Percentable fermentable. 100%able fermentable
There you go.
sugar. Corn sugar. Dextrose.
Kind of like a Colombian blow, you know. So.
You know what Colombian blow looks
What scarf?
like. No,
Which I believe is actually Bolivian. But
all I know is that Al Pacino,
devil's dandruff.
like him or hate him, that was the worst Hispanic accent
Oh, I know.
ever.
Right?
Half my family is Hispanic through my wife. None of them talk like that. And there's a lot of them.
He was supposed to be Cuban, I believe. His character was supposed to be Cuban. Came over during that short period when borders were open. Or not really our borders, when Cuba opened its borders.
Right.
You know?
Well, Free Bay of Pigs and all that. We used to go to Cuba all the time.
Well, right, yeah, no, Cuba was at one time was an ally, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not so much a military ally, but we were friendly to Cuba, and
Right, because
You
they
know.
could be used.
And,
Confessions of an Economic Man. Go
yeah.
ahead, read the book. I
I
haven't done it yet.
actually I read it.
I know, I was talking.
Oh, there's supposed to be a sequel to it, but I haven't read the sequel to the second book. I'm not sure how much I believe even.
Well, I gotta tell you, I think that book is like a lot of things happen and a lot of things were twisted.
right.
It sounds like someone disillusioned with American system decided to write a book to. I mean, to be honest, that's true. I mean, okay to skateboard with a purple shirt and overalls and a red bandana. Okay.
You know, we realize anybody watching has no idea what.
Red
'Cause, like,
bandana,
A
scrunchie,
second ago, we were just talking about
coveralls.
the Confessions of an Economic Hitman book.
Right. And then, well, you looked out the door like, kind of like, what the heck? That was a fly.
Oh no, that's
What kind of bee?
A regular bee.
Oh
And
no!
it's caught.
Oh, don't give up, little guy. Yeah, why don't you say? Good. Wasps. Wasp move.
Oh, if it was just a regular wasp, I just let it go. Yeah.
Of course, now she's probably crying.
Don't go back.
No, you're on your own. Go live at the end of the broadcast. We'll get you out of here.
Oh no, you're about to go. You need your fire, bro.
I know.
Fire starter.
I need the fire stick.
Can't go through it. That's glass. Glass. Good Lord.
That's how we get a fire going.
Good thing I'm wearing pants.
I'm gonna
I
say.
wouldn't have any leg hair left after
So-
that one.
So my kiddo washed this. I'm gonna say he might not have rinsed it good enough, and all that soot is soap or whatever. It's still over. Oh well. All right, going for boil.
You're just gonna wear yourself out, dude. Get it?
This week on Northwest Brewmeister.
It will be.
We save a bee. Why are you so? Just go to the other side. This is a dumb animal, right? Problem is, it's a dumb animal.
I know.
And
Dumb
then I
animal.
get stung and it dies, which means I experience pain and don't succeed in my mission.
And it dies anyway, you know?
Are you entertained?
Want a glove?
No, I want like a piece of paper. Like a paper towel? Paper towel or something? Sure. Or we can catch her that way. Throw her outside. Stop it.
We are working very hard to save a bee, but you know what? Bees are important to the part
They say.
of the planet. Go and pollinate.
Holy cow. You're making me sure about this one. Stop it! I almost had you. Hold this, please. Thank you. It's very important that we run out so we can use it. That's the problem, is I don't want to squeeze her and I don't want her to hit me. Pull her wings off.
Insect.
Right on my ring.
Get her on them. Oh.
No, we tried that. Hermit. Get on that window. That window is life. It is salvation. Got her. I got her. Give me. Alright.
Oh, be free. Be free. Awful. Seriously?
Alright, she flew away.
Alright. Be free.
Oh wow, that's
Look,
a really nice
I'm
hot
right.
break. Some idiot hadn't forgotten pop cam at home. We can show that. Oh, there you go. One bee saved. How do you feel about that? I feel good. Feel good.
Maybe we did a good deed for today.
Yeah.
Could be.
That one bee is the difference collapse of our entire food supply.
You know, it could be because that pollen, that bee's leg, might just be the key to that crop that needs to grow. You know,
Right. You never know. You know, serious topic number one. We always hit serious topic number one.
right?
Food supply, particularly when it comes to that is something very interesting. Think about it. In one season, if the season is wrong, all of it cannot work. Right? So the tomatoes don't work, broccoli, the mushrooms, the wheat,
Right.
all these things. And I don't know exactly how much of a backup the world has. I mean, there are Twinkies. Everyone knows that all the Twinkies were made in 1950.
Here's something I heard today listening to one of my podcasts. Talking about food. You know, because right now AI and all that stuff's a big hype, you know, big craze. And what's funny is what people are not realizing about all this AI. No, I don't mean sentient, hello Dave AI, all 9,000 guidance. So that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the predictive stuff. Language models and things. Anyway, the amount of water it cool server farms, data centers, big time AI.
Right,
stuff.
they're all liquid cooled. They're not
So-
air cooled.
So what's funny is that the companies are all like, "Oh, we're reducing our carbon footprint," blah 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 blah. Oh, I'm raising the BS flag on that because companies like Google and Microsoft and all these people that have their fingers in the AI pot, they have produced more energy or used more energy now than they ever have in their existence because of the amount of water consumption and whatever else they're trying to do. But back to the food thing, Taiwan, you know, over there, South China Sea, yes, I see her out of beer, has started subsidizing rice farmers because they told them not to grow crops the last 3 years. Water can be used for cooling AI server farms.
Right, so the food's got to come from somewhere.
Funny, I don't know if they're buying their food from China or not. I find it kind of ironic because if they're buying it from China wants to invade Taiwan. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
China, as far as China's concerned, Taiwan is theirs. You know?
Right. Here's something interesting about Taiwan, though, because we're in the West and we only get Western media, which is no better than Russian TV or Chinese media or the BBC.
Everybody's media is
all these
colored to their.
Yeah,
pictures,
they are. It's like if you're an American or a Brit or European, don't think that your media outlet is free of influence. It's got influence, and you're only getting half the picture. But the point is that I was listening to NPR, because I do listen to NPR. And some of it's kind of cool, but they were talking about Taiwan. Not everybody in Taiwan considers themselves Taiwanese.
Oh.
There is a large chunk of that population that's like, we are Chinese. You know,
So they're
or at
still
least
loyal
Chinese
to-
conciliatory. Like there's a whole political party that they try and get in. They want to get back in good with China. You know, it's not. We get this idea that you've got Taiwan and all the people hate China. Oh, China's gonna come get us. It's like, no, that's some of the
That's
people.
kind of how parts of Ukraine
There are
where those
in
people that
Ukraine.
are still loyal to
It's
Russia.
like
you
we
know?
are Russians. No,
Yeah.
let's Russia have us. Mom in
Not
Puerto
saying it
Rico in our
I'm not saying I
rights.
support invasions and stuff, but I'm just saying that on the same token, I get it. You know, I get it.
Well, I was just gonna say Guam and Puerto Rico are kind of the same. Puerto Rico. I hate that when you have particularly the Hispanic announcer talk like this and like they're from Texas and they say San Antonio. Hi, my name is Mario from San Antonio. It's like, one accent, my friend, one accent.
Don't switch it up.
Either do the twang or just go full on Hispanic. But let's not do both. You're freaking me out here. I just think it's disingenuous. Like, look, I can say Puerto Rico. Don't you? I will punch you right here on camera. Drink your beer, and then you get us both new beers. What your job is right now. right now. I did not. I'm laughing. Drink a beer. Get us both doing it. Swallow that. At least he didn't say Puerto Rico. Anyhow, there are people in Puerto Rico and Guam who think states and Guam who think that they should be their own independent countries. Like, in the modern world, of course they could survive because all these little micro countries surviving. Part of the reasons that they survive is because the bigger countries kind of help them out. And yeah, it's like we're defending Ukraine, kinda.
We're not really defending them. We're just funding them.
we're extending the war in Ukraine.
Why do we keep doing that?
Well, because it's something. It's a wedge topic for politics.
Nothing against Ukraine, but it's like, why are we funding so much money funding this? Well, that money can be used here to like fix things here,
Right. Well, I agree with that, but here's my thing that I think that there is strength to the argument. Great power comes great. And when people bring up the "why are we the American" argument, well, because we are the big dog. We are the biggest dog. No offense to anyone else from anywhere. Limey friends, we love you. I've been to England, great country. Your politics are so wonderful. They're almost better. I think our guys are a little stupid. But you guys have fisticuffs in the places. This is great. Anyways, Parliament. Thank you. I was gonna say House of Lords. What's the other one? House of Commons? No. House of Lords. And then there's the. Oh, the Tories are the conservatives.
I don't.
Where the MPs hang out. I don't even know what MPs stand for. Anyways, the point being is that America is the force. Even Peter and Jem mention that because they follow. They have their opinions. Agree with mine, which, by the way, there's a lot of people in America that were shocked or Britain feel the way that mine. Absolutely shocked. But the point is they said to me, they're like, well, because as America goes, the world goes. All right, so enough bragging about America, but the point is we are the big dog, right? Russia, no. They're big and powerful, but
they want to be. Russia wants to be.
If it was just one-on-one, we would. Their nuclear missiles would not. That is just rattling. That is just our government letting us be afraid because it's China, India. Nope. How many billion people? 1.8 billion people? Yeah, and we would. Are the big dog, and so and on us to keep things level. But here's the problem, though. Are we doing the right thing? Should we let Russia take Ukraine, or should we maintain Ukraine as its own independent country? What's the right thing to do?
I think we're going to defer to defense because of sovereignty. Right. Sovereignty is a big part of U.S.
Sure.
I think that's why we decide. That's why we support Ukraine as a country. At least government to government,
Well, and also it's good to keep Russia not much bigger because Ukraine is a huge agricultural center, and if Russia gets that, well,
they can control a lot of it.
Right, and being able to bring that much more food for Russia, that just makes life that much.
I guess we want to look at it in some big giant balance of the world, but that might be.
Well, that's still kind of.
There's still a lot of nations that don't care about it.
Yeah, well, fortunately, smaller.
Well, they don't care about any kind of like world balance. Even if that's a real thing, I might just be. There's a lot of countries that would annihilate Western culture completely.
Right, and like I said, Iran is one of them. Unapologetic. I'm not going to defend Iran.
Neither am I.
I'm not going to dance away from that for the sake of being non-controversial.
Iran and Israel are Both got their. I just try to say this without really, things on the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
They're
in a measuring contest.
They're in a measuring contest right now, and I'm curious to see where this is going to go because naturally, Israel is an ally of the United States, and it's not.
Right.
I wouldn't call Iran an outright enemy.
Well, and then both of those guys are, if they were to play tag, they're both proxies, right?
Yeah.
So Israel is fighting on behalf of the United States, fighting on the Russia, because that's where they get the weapons. Supply Israel. Iran supplies a lot of those crazy groups and other stuff.
Oh, I know.
Iran gets its weapons. Russia. Russia and China are much. Yeah, what's weird is that how we just dance around this World War without ever fully getting into it. I think Syria was the closest we came to.
Yeah, I didn't know one.
Right. Because in Syria we had actual American forces fighting, had actual Russian fighting. Right? So if Israel starts to lose against Iran, we're probably going to put boots on, but it's going to be against Iran, right? And if Iran starts to lose Israel,
It might get back up from somebody.
Right, but in the Syria thing, if a Russian fighter got shot down by an American anti-aircraft, that'd be bad. Because now suddenly Russia's like, all right, we're coming at you. And then we're like, okay, here we go. And then NATO's like, oh, damn, now we got to engage. Why? Because it's this NATO thing. We were supposed to let America do all the heavy lifting, and we were going to build social programs and build public transit. No, now we actually have to fight. It's like, you're damn right you do, because now we're going up against Russia. And then China's going to be like, well, our ally, and we certainly don't want NATO and those Westerners taking over everything, so here we come.
Here we come.
Bada bing, bada boom. Syria, who gives a shit? Nobody. Nobody cares about Syria. I mean, I'm saying this.
I know what you mean.
Look in the mirror, man.
Do
you stay up late at night about the Syrians?
It's no longer about Syria anymore.
Right.
No.
Well, and the thing is, the Syrian conflict didn't get resolved. I'm watching it. It didn't get resolved. It's not like that's done.
No.
Bashar horrible man, right? Horrible. Kills civilians. Doesn't have. He's a bad person, right? But the next fighting thing came along. I think Ukraine was. Maybe it was the 2020 election. I don't know what it was that erased Syria from our mind, but you don't repent on Syria. Sudan.
In 2016.
That's right, because Syria was under Obama.
It was like 2013. I was coming home from my last. I was coming home from my last shipboard deployment, and we got turned on literally like hours from pulling into our second to last port. We were about to pull into Subic Bay, Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ship was coming to, like, I could see the lights kind of thing. How close we were, and it's just like, all right, turn around. Like, we were literally that morning pulling in, man. It was probably about time early in the morning. Like, I could see, like, the sun was starting to come up, so there's just a little bit of light. Yeah, we were literally about to pull into Subic Bay, Philippines. Ordered to the Red Sea. We hung around the Red Sea, burned donuts for a bit. And then when that was done, we actually transitioned north through the Suez.
You burned very tight donuts.
Right?
Red Sea.
which a West Coast aircraft carrier has done in a very long time.
Right.
Usually the East Coast carriers go south and they do their time in the Gulf, and we had finished our patrols in the Gulf. We were heading home. We were gonna go to Subic Bay, Philippines, spend, I don't know, 4 or 5 days there, pull out, and then head to Hawaii to pick up the Tiger cruise, and then go home. That was it. One was over. Nope. We burned donuts in the Red Sea. Very short donuts. Went north, transitioned north into
Not a
Suez
lot of room in
Canal.
the Red Sea.
Hung out in the Adriatic Sea. Flew operations there for a while. There was rumors of a port visit in Greece, which did not happen.
Didn't lose it.
Oh, I've been to Greece. I've
Been
been to
unfinished buildings.
been to Greece 3 times. For my neighbor. We did have a port visit in Naples, Italy, though.
Naples is nice. I've been to Naples too. I like
It was
Naples.
okay. It was
Well,
like poop.
I know.
Not nothing. I'm not saying like it's like I'm bad mouthing the country. I think it was their sewer system was. It smelled poop.
Well, you know, the thing is they have great PR. There's a lot of romance around. The truth is, I've floated through there, man. I've stopped off and stepped on the ground. In Italy, piles of trash.
Oh,
Size of my
You
suburban.
find a lot of piles of trash. I'm like,
Just
what
huge
is
piles
going
of trash.
on here?
It's like, welcome to beautiful Italy, yeah. Ignore the trash on the side of the road.
We ended up taking a train. Those European bullet trains.
European bullet train.
Yeah.
Never heard of those.
Bullet train. You know?
It's the same thing as a
Yeah,
Shinkansen.
it's just a fast train. We took one of those to Rome. A couple of the other guys I worked with, we
Rome I liked.
had a good time in Rome. Stayed like here was like the entrance to the Vatican. We weren't in the Vatican. We were staying at some kind of used to be where like bishops would stay. They had converted into like a hotel, and so we stayed there. Each of us had our own room, like a little lodge, like a little bishop's lodge kind of. It's literally like here was my room. All I had to do was go downstairs, and turn around. Then I'm in the Vatican, City. It's so close to the Vatican City where we stayed.
That's pretty cool, man.
TV, old school CRT television. And this is 2013. Flat screens have been around for years. You know, old little CRT color television. I got like 3 channels. One of them was German.
Hey, you're German. That must have worked.
So I was just like, all right. So I just listened to German television. I had no idea what they were saying. I caught a word here and there just because German I did know. The other channels were obviously Italian channels, and I was just like, all right. I think I just ended up watching stuff on my laptop.
Point being, all that side talking is that nobody cares about Syria.
Yeah, we did. That was a 10. Good Lord.
Well, that's what we do.
Right.
And, you know, and that's like true of, to go out on a limb, say you and me. You know, look, do you stay up at night worrying about the poor children?
No.
No. Neither do I. And neither do most Americans. Even the Americans.
Say they do.
We're so busy being, oh, Syria, yes. It's like, stop lying. Stop it. You're lying. You don't care. Have you lobbied for a bill to send money and American lives to Syria? No, we shouldn't send Americans. Okay, if you're not willing to spend American blood, then you don't give a shit. That's the thing.
You just want to look like you give it.
Yes, you want to look. It's the same thing with Ukraine. Oh, what is it, Ukraine? It's like, are you there? No. Are you willing to send Americans to Ukraine? No. Then shut up. So you're willing to spend your money and your blood and your children's blood.
Right.
Then don't tell me, because I gotta admit, if you're a 75-year-old man, it's like, no. All you're gonna do is soak up 5 or 6. Then we're gonna have to spend extra money to get you back here for the funeral, which may or may not be closed casket, depending on where your head was when the bullet came through that area. Whoa! I was getting
Nice
ready.
catch.
Thank you. That was a little exciting. Here.
You saved a boil over. Job.
Which we kind of do for a boil over, to be honest. We haven't
No.
done one in-
No, we're not. My garage floor is sticky enough as it is. We don't
That's
need a
true.
boil
It's
over.
been kind of. We need to mop your.
Probably the only house in the damn United States that gets their garage floor pumped on a regular basis. I know. I'm greedy.
Inattentive guy.
It's silly. Yeah, my garage floor, concrete floor, just like your standard garage, it gets mopped periodically. It gets sticky.
Yeah. That looks pretty. But Syria was, I mean, that was probably as close as the world has come to World War III in quite a while. Because we had actual American soldiers, actual Russian soldiers.
Oh, right.
close enough that a Russian could have killed an American, or an American could have killed a Russian.
Right.
And that would have been
It would have
been
escalated.
the spark in
Yeah.
the powder keg. Right now, a Israeli financed or an American financed Israeli soldier killing a Russian financed Iranian soldier. Again, we're back to the nobody cares.
That's proxy.
Nobody cares about
Yeah.
Israel. Correction. Ben Shapiro. Ben is pretty heavy Jewish.
Jewish.
He's very Jewish. I mean, I side with Israel just because I'm landed, man. Gotta choose between Israel and not Israel. I'm choosing Israel.
Yeah, I mean, idealistic. That's not,
No, the world is never gonna be.
Yeah.
The world is never gonna be perfect. You know what's interesting? Here's topic number 2. Here we go. It's even a tangent. This is changing. No, we got number 2. Somebody else. Somebody's lurking.
Oh, that hasn't updated on that thing. I was curious.
Oh, I see it there.
You have a lurker?
We have a lurker. Hello, lurker. Here's topic number 2. The flaws of humanity. That's kind of
Wow.
that's really broad.
I was like,
All right, buckle in, folks.
I
It's
wanna-
gonna be 19. We're gonna make 18 gallons of beer before we're done with this one.
might as well narrow the scope a little
No,
bit.
so here's what's something interesting: atheism versus Christianity. Okay.
I'm listening.
So if you look at a lot of religious governments that are not necessarily theocracy, have strong religious influence, so they have done some terrible things. Look at the last 10 crusades. Not so much the first 4 crusades actually were a response to last 10 were kings going off invading Middle East because that's what you did. God wills it. Does God will it, or
If you were the new king, you had to
Yep.
all right, we're gonna go on crusade because I need to establish myself now.
It's weird. Every political leader has his war, and that hasn't stopped with American presidents. Think about it. I mean, everyone has their war. We gotta have our little war. Thing about being a leader of a leader. Right back to the kings, right back to forever. But you cannot deny that some horrible things have happened with religion. But what's interesting, if you look at the religions, take the people away from it, implement it, and just look at the way the religion is. Buddhism, I know nothing about, except it seems like a lot of worry about yourself. That's right? I don't know a lot about it. Hinduism, I know less about.
Don't eat beef. Eat the cows.
Don't eat cows. There's a lot of
Cows are sacred.
a lot of phallic symbols in phallus. Well, they're kind of a weird religion. I know even less about the Hindus.
Yeah, I'm not gonna claim any.
I do know they have
I know cows are sacred.
thousands and thousands of gods. They don't. It's not just Shiva and whoever Shiva's wife is. That's 2 of the main ones, but they have pantheon. Makes the Greeks gods look like. Here's a little hamlet of Greek gods. And here's the megalopolis of Hindu gods.
Okay.
Hindu gods have 6 arms. Then take Islam. So, Islam, their basic morals, right at the core of it, pretty much the same as Judaism and Christianity. Judaism and Christianity. Love your neighbor as yourself, and love the Lord your God with all your mind, heart, and soul, right? Those are the big rules. Those are the 2 main commandments. Love God first, and love your neighbor as though he were yourself. And they say, and Jesus said, if you follow those rules, all the laws hang on. All right, so
The problem is nobody follows those rules though.
right. So that's where we're going, right? We have the core of these religions. All all the religions themselves, if followed faithfully,
Right.
wouldn't be such a bad thing.
Roads paved with good intent.
Right. But now
Yeah.
we bring. Now I'm getting to my point. Now we get around to now we involve humans in it. Humans screw it up because they either totally subvert it. They claim to be the messenger from God, whether it be a bishop, a cult leader, whatever, right? And they fool all people who don't know as much or are willing to believe them, and then they commit atrocities in the name of this religion. Now we get the atheists. Oh, religion is so bad. Look what all the religions have done. And now let's look at the countries where religion was outlawed. Number one, Soviet Russia. 20 million people. Stalin made Hitler look like a choir boy. I mean, the amount of people that man killed for no good reason. Right? Look under Mao. Mao was anti-religion too. He had a whole new Chinese culture thing, turned family against family on purpose. Starved I don't know how many millions of people. Atheists, not religious. We need to get rid of the gods or whatever the ancestor worship and all that. We get rid of it. Right? So here we have humans committing atrocities. This time they're unfettered by religion. So it's like when people come up and say, oh, religions are so terrible, it's like, humans are terrible.
Right. No, I know what you mean. Maybe the tenets of the religion, they're fine.
It's like,
but it's the people that screw it up.
Right. And so whether you're an atheist or a religious person, you need to recognize the flawed component in all of this stuff is the human.
Not the religion itself. Yeah.
Right. Now, as you know, and most of our viewers who watch any regularity know, I obviously am Christian, unashamedly, right? So, and no lie, there's like the last 10 Crusades, definite of God wills it, right? But, like, I think with religion, at least you have some sort of breaks. It's like a leader can only go so far before the laity, the people that aren't leaders or religious leaders, look and they look at their Bibles or whatever, and they look at what they're saying. It's like, you're out to lunch.
Well, it gives you a, for lack of better terms, a basis of,
right.
You're not doing this right. Yeah.
Right. Whereas in atheism, there are no breaks.
Nothing to,
right.
There's no checks and balances.
Right. It's all secular relativism. And now it's time for Jamey Alone, the part of the show where Jamey is alone. And Steve helps his wife with the groceries. Actually, I'm going to step off camera for a little bit, and we will be back in minutes. In fact, we'll just play the song again, since there's nothing better going on. Go ahead and hit play. Promise we're getting a new song coming soon. Over 7,000 years ago, God gave us a libation.
Okay, I am back.
And now this divine beverage is brewed in every nation,
Walk in front of the camera.
on every continent,
You know what you can this time
from
because
far away to near. Humanity can all agree we love this
I was just gonna
thing
do the one thing, but
called beer! There's Budweiser from St. Louis,
Leaning out OPA.
Coors in Colorado,
We even left the USA. Lamont up in Canada, the land of ice and snow. You don't even need a cooler when it's 40 below.
Dos Equis down in Mexico, or Corona with a lime. It's such a shame, so many beers, so very little time. From Brazil to Argentina,
From Peru or Ecuador. Todos hechos su cerveza. They grant some more.
fill my glass up to the brim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set them up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer, we're gonna drink them all. Oy vey.
Doings in Australia.
Or maybe called in draft. Try to keep up with the Aussies
And you'll end up on your wall.
Fill my glass up to the brim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday,
So this one is for you.
one by one we set 'em up and one by one they fall. There's a billion different kinds of beer. We're gonna drink them all.
There's beer from Scandinavia.
Belgium, France, and Spain.
So raise your glass bottoms up and fill them up again.
That's it.
England,
Guinness.
Ireland.
Tenants from the Scots.
Fine Steffen Sieben Weiss beer.
Reinheitsgebot. Czech Republic, Poland, Russia.
China to the east. They all make delicious beers with barley, hops, and yeast.
So have yourself a big name brew.
Or better, brew your own.
But enjoy that beer, cause one thing's clear.
You ain't drunk at all! Fill my glass up to the rim with that tasty brew. I drank to my health yesterday, so this one is for you. One by one we set 'em up, and one by one they fall. There's a million different kinds of beer. We're gonna drink them all!
Drink!
Cheers!
Cheers! Drink! So original, cheers!
Slanja!
Slanja! Not Ireland! Slanja from Ireland!
That's right, may the devil know you're not dead. Oh, why I screwed that one up.
But it's hard for a German to be an Irish guy.
That's right, so we'll just pay homage to Germany and say, Prost!
Roast! And may you be in hell half an hour before the devil knows you're there.
Yes, in Ireland they would appreciate that.
Yeah, okay.
L'chaim!
L'chaim! Yes, for our Jewish friends. What else we got?
Goodbye!
Goodbye! Off to Japan with Asahi and
A little over to the west of Japan, we have Russia, Nostrovia.
way far west of Japan, Nostrovia, which I keep calling Nokia because I'm stupid.
And then, wait, we have some Zulu friends.
Yes, down in Africa, Bajabule!
How do we say that?
Bajabule! What else we got? Salud! So Spain,
Salud!
Latin America, and Italy.
Chin-chin.
All spark.
You are made up. Don't tell me you're not. I know you, child. I know you're.
Okay. You're allowed, kiddo. You're
Cute
allowed.
cashier down there. God, usually.
Pull me and be like, get it up higher and like go over into like a few minutes. Oh gosh! No.
All right, so we're kind of back.
Kind of back.
I mean, we're as back as we need to be.
Right? Back street.
Wow.
I don't even know.
That is so you. You know, when I think of Desi, I think of boy band.
I
You know
don't
what?
for that.
Or all the boy bands.
Now,
Okay.
yeah, they're all like in their older. What would you call the first boy band? I'd probably say.
I would say Menudo. But Menudo's still going because Menudo, kind of like the Doobie Brothers.
Asian members.
Yeah, well, they're not. It's like the band exists. So
Martin.
Vida Loca, living la vida loca. Yeah. Which, no lie, I like that song. Not all of her stuff. I think the big thing that turned me on Lady Gaga and liking, I saw her do and played it. Whew, that girl's got some pipes. I don't know. I mean, so it's a pop song, right? And so the piano part is, it is what it is. Okay, sure. Now we're a little too.
I might have to go get my shield.
Yes, the sun has come to visit you. But anyhow,
give me rods.
Your cheese.
Pub cheese.
Cheese bacon dip. And
you are awesome.
That one is not spicy, but
Your style mustard, yeah.
The other one was like extra hot, and I was like,
Which one's extra hot? Put that one off to the side.
No, none of it.
Oh, okay.
None of it's hot.
No death soup dip?
No.
No. And then there's...
We have choices.
There's Frito-Lay chip.
Oh, okay.
Want any of those?
Oh, well, thank you. This mustard is awesome because it can go on so much more. Besides the pretzels. Exactly. It's a little German Stein, kind of, Yeah, I have a better Stein here now. Beer.
What is
German
the
mustard?
Little
people.
Dwarves, midgets.
Dusseldorf style mustard. Exclusively imported and distributed by Euro-American brands. What ask me?
Have you ever been to Dusseldorf?
No. The only place in Germany I've been is Frankfurt.
I've been to Frankfurt. Ended up in the police station. What happens when you get lost in Frankfurt at the end of night?
This is like straight up. Yeah, my dad was in the Army, right. U.S. Army, and he was stationed in Frankfurt. Interestingly, he was from Germany.
When I was like 8 or 9, I was in the Helena Boy Choir, and we went on tour to Germany.
Yeah, you told me.
That's a little. I want to try some of that mustard. Anyhow, at one point, went somewhere as a group, and
where did this come from? I don't remember. Yeah, brought him out.
So we went down the stairs, and everybody's wearing like these red sweaters or shirts, khaki pants, and guess what?
That's not what you were wearing, was it?
No, that's what I was wearing.
Oh, okay.
But other people in Germany also wear red sweaters and khaki pants. And I stopped to look at a postcard rack. Yep. Saw my chaperone. Oh, I better catch up. Followed him. Turned around. Not the chaperone. I did not panic. I was like, no problem. I'm just going to back, postcard rack, up the stairs, and go back to the hotel, and I'll be... Yeah, there's a lot of postcard racks. I went back to the postcard rack, went up the stairs, and no idea. And I ended up with the German police. And they gave me strawberry pop. And that was the time where I decided that strawberry pop, apparently, international law enforcement drink of choice. Because when when I went to the Canadian police after getting lost in the Canadian Rockies, they also gave me strawberry pop. That was earlier in my life. I was like 5 or 6. And you don't tell a country kid, yeah, the pond's just over that hill, Canadian Rockies, because he looks at the hill and says, oh, I can walk over. And off he goes. Yep, that's good.
Probably spent.
There was one other time I ended up in a. I didn't get strawberry. American police. Ended up there because I was.
One of those situations.
Small town America. There's 1,200 people.
It's not Missoula, is it?
No, not Missoula. Where are your parents? They're in Helena. All right, well, get back home. We'll give you 2. Nothing good. Nothing good came from that day. That is actually my only regret in my entire life. Not my friend. I have beat up all my Townsend friends. Have beat. John's mom almost. Matter that John gave me that lip.
Mom's always got hit with a bat by a friend.
My goodness.
Oh,
you got hit with a bat by a friend. I thought it was by the mom.
No.
Okay, by the friend is not nearly. The cheese stuff? No.
Yeah. So we I don't remember what we were fighting about. I was probably 11. I think he got real mad at me. And he swinging a bat at me, and so I was dodging the bat, little fucking world limit metal bat, just swinging at me, so I'm dodging it, and started getting old. I'm like, swung the bat, brought my arm out, catch the bat, well, it still hit me back here. His mom came out and like, what's going on here? Of course, instantly she just deferred to her son. He's in the right. Oh, he's not. He was not. He was not in the right. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, never mind. I got hit with a bat by him.
Must be nice to have moms like that. My mom was like, "What'd my kid do?"
It's like, oh my god.
Of course, half the time she was right. It's like I'd done. No, the only reason I regret this is right on the edge of mushy school. I have autistic. A kid named J.R. is my problem. I don't know what Jay's problems were. I remember one of Jay's problems. Right? He does something wrong. Something doesn't know why he's getting. And in my mind, it was justified, right? He'd run over my own bicycle.
I would have kicked his ass too.
Right. But dial it back. The fact that Jay had no concept that it was wrong to take the bike, and he didn't aim for my sister.
You better learn that then.
Yeah, but that's the problem.
No,
I'm
being cynical. I'm being cynical.
I know. And in a normal world, it's like, yeah, absolutely, you should learn from that. But someone who's broken, like Jay was, no, it doesn't work that way. That's my one regret in life, and I don't feel too bad about it because, yeah, I didn't know. I was like 12. 12-year-olds don't think things that deeply. But still, I feel bad. I was just pounding on this. I had no idea why this other kid. No idea why this. I'm waiting on you, man. That's really rough. You know, it's hard. Got those broken pieces.
No, where this kid was a sociopath. Or
Yeah, I mean, very
Essentially.
likely.
essentially, because he had no,
I forget if he was.
he had no sense of right and wrong.
foster. There, underneath. He keeps escaping. Hey. I looked him up. He's actually on Facebook. I think it's him. There's very little on the. Like friend request. Not like I hate him.
I gotcha.
It's hard though, you know. That's like Jaime doing something. I mean, Jaime has a strong. Because I pounded it into him. Yeah. And Jaime's not violent in. You know, he did get in trouble in robotics class. He had no concept. He was just like, I need a wheel. Oh, there's a wheel.
There's a wheel. Oh, you're supposed to do this with your parts, right?
Yeah. And the other kids, I do think that our society
One more. I'll do one more.
well could have the mustard.
I mean, they're good, but
Good mustard.
it is good mustard. I'm grateful she bought it.
Mm-hmm. In any case, you know, Jaime's not violent. But he also doesn't really, you know, he lives in his own world so much that it doesn't even matter that might affect you. Unless you've done it before and consequences.
Yeah.
Does get that, but not him being mean or even exceptionally selfish. He has no
I need that.
I forget what it is.
Never mind that you're using it, but I need that.
There is a term for the ability to put someone else's right. So you are my good friend, and so I know quite a bit about you. And so there are certain things where like, hey, I'll do that, and I'm like, like when I'm at your house or something, right? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Now, that might be something that I would do at my house because it doesn't bother me, but I know that's something that Steve's not really keen on. That's not his favorite thing or whatever, right?
Gotcha.
And don't ask me to be specific because I have no idea what it is.
No, I know what you mean.
But the idea is I can kind of put myself in your shoes and see
Oh, wait a
things the
minute.
way you see them.
Oh, and likewise too. You know.
Right. And then I can modify my behavior by thinking what you would like or not like. And Jaime doesn't do that. You know, his behavior is only what he wants at any given point in time.
Like he's selfish. He's just wired that way.
Yeah, he just has no concept of this
Ooh, excuse me.
modifying his behavior for someone else's frame of mind, someone else's
Right.
worldview. You know, comes into his thought pattern. And Jaime's not the only kid like that.
Oh, no.
We have a little girl in our church she's worse than Jaime. You know? And it's really sad because her mom is utterly defeated. Broken home, right? There was a divorce. I just, you know, we had that discussion about how, well, both you and I are in the same situation. Neither one of us really love,
Oh,
right? And if we had the option, we'd probably move to somewhere that we do want. There are places we would much rather live. It's like, I would rather live here. Me, myself, if my boys were normal, I've thought about this. If my boys were normal and they're both adults and they're doing their thing, I probably wouldn't be even. Like, where are you? I'm in Argentina. How long are you going to be there? 80 days. Oh, and then you're coming home?
no.
Then we're going to Chile. Like, why is it only 90 days? Because that's as long as the visa lets me stay. It's a tourist visa. I've got my retirement and all that, you know. It's like, and if you're willing to stay at cheap Airbnbs, and let me tell you, in South America, there are lots of. I mean, there are some Airbnbs that are less than. Like, if you break it down per night, it's like I could stay. I want to go to Israel. Andy wants to go to Dubai. That's just because I've been to Dubai.
Yeah, same here. Like, I've been there too many times. Yeah, it's got interesting architecture and big giant shopping centers. Dubai is a place that you either, Dubai is one of those places you're either very rich or you're very poor. There's no middle class. At least not that I saw. You were the super rich, or you were like the people that they brought in from the outlying countries to pretty much be indentured servitude.
Pakistan, Iran.
Yeah, I forget
Iraq.
there's a name for them though, because I saw them working on the military bases. For these, they don't have citizenship. They don't have barely have rights.
Slaves?
Oh, yeah, pretty much. I mean, they're pretty much indentured servants. Make a little bit of money, but not. They don't get paid well.
And they send it all home.
They don't get paid well enough for what they should get paid. But yeah, there's a name for it. But I remember when I was there, we were driving and ended up having to go turn around somewhere. Exited off like their equivalent of the name for like the area where these folks live. I say these poor people because I mean, talking like I didn't go inside any of these dwellings, but I would not be surprised if there was like 8 men sharing a room.
Cargo container.
Cargo container living. I'm like, geez. It's like,
Well, I found Dubai to have a distinct lack of. It wasn't any. It was like, oh, what? Ancient this, or look, this is the way they do things. We went out to a Bedouin camp, but it was hated Bedouin generators, electric lights. I watched a belly dancer. That girl was kind of went up on the balls of her feet, stayed there. I have a hard time going 10 feet. Calves are like, that's enough.
she must.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. And then there's a lot of like extreme sports type of experiences.
Oh yeah.
Like dune driving in the trucks, which is a lot of fun. But that's not a cultural
melting pot of Western sports system. Go with alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hotels. You can hotels.
In the hotel.
You can, yeah. There's a certain series of hotels you can.
But don't go outside.
Don't go outside. Yeah, if you're caught drunk in public, might as well be ready to be beheaded on that. I'm joking about that.
Even kissing in public.
But yeah, drunk in public and Dubai is bad.
I watched actually an Australian thing, and it was a warning to Dubai tourists. Because Dubai presents this very Western, very liberal image. So this was a warning to Australian tourists. 3-minute thing. And it's like, yeah, we absolutely go to Dubai, have a good time. We need to know that it is not Australia. It seems just as relaxed as Australia, but there are some laws there that will string you up, and you won't like it.
PDA is bad.
PDA is bad. They're like, no, you don't do that in this. And they are.
It was like that in Singapore.
Compared with other Islamic countries, Dubai is very liberal.
Bahrain was similar too. Bahrain's kind of a liberal area in the context of Muslim countries. Bahrain's a little more liberal. Someone made a joke one time. It wasn't an American. It was a Bahraini or whatever. They're like, yeah, the Saudis like to come over here because they can get away with doing the stuff they can't do in Saudi Arabia. You know.
Well, shoot, we go to Canada. Well, not so much. You know, our young kids go up to Canada because they can drink up.
Oh, is it 18 in Canada? Or?
Yeah, it's 18.
That's how Mexico was when I lived in Texas. I don't know if it's the same, but yeah, we used to go down to Mexico to drink legally.
Yeah. Like,
Now crossing the border, that's a different story.
yeah,
You know?
it's a
But
little
this
more
was,
tricky.
you know, when I was 18, it was like 1993, 94, something like that. So
Crossing the border was not.
it wasn't a problem. Much of a problem I could. Yeah, it was very common. Soldiers as well, because we have Fort Bliss where I'm from in El Paso, Texas. Fort Bliss, it was common for soldiers to go across the border because you know the young soldiers could go drink legally, even though they couldn't drink in town. Around
Get
base.
drunk, marry a prostitute, bring her back. What's
Yeah.
that?
Not much they're gonna say. Go places like Thailand or your wife, huh?
What would you think about that one? I'm sure she's a nice lady. I also think she's very smart. Oh, thank you. Why do you think that? Because she married your dumbass,
She married you,
and her family is on the way to the United
right? You just inherited a whole family.
Yep. What, Filipino and Catholic? That's a lot. You need to start building. Your house.
You're gonna have everybody living with you. You know that, right?
Yes. I'm
Everybody.
fine with that because I live there. And I gotta be honest, let's pretend that we lived in a broadcast in Cape to England where laws saying with us. I would do it. I would the moment I touched down and said, "Hey, I'm a citizen."
I'm not looking down my nose at any of those families. It's like
Yeah.
I would do it too. You know, like what?
No, I
can bring my family somewhere better. Let's do this. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I get it, man.
Get out of that sewage pit of a country. No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, because you're right. Dinner.
Oh no, if you want another pretzel,
Well,
I'm just saying.
dinner.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna cut myself off.
Right. Well, you know, believe it or not, I don't like that whole sneeze thing. All right, leave it in the comments. Anybody else out there, when you overeat, do you sneeze a lot? This is a genetic gift from my father. Thanks a lot, Dad.
I've known one other person in my life that has the food sneezes.
I knew one other girl. I met her in Minneapolis.
I also knew someone who. I mean, it's gonna sound stupid, but they were allergic to the sun.
If they looked at the sun?
We'd get out in the sun and they start sneezing.
Oh, they just got out in the sun. Because I know there is a genetic condition that's recognized where if people like look at the sun, kind of get blasted in the eyes.
I mean, maybe that's what it was. I don't. I just know they would they'd start sneezing. I'm like, seriously? Like, oh, dude, I'm allergic to the sun.
There are some people who legitimately are allergic to the sun. Like, deathly allergic. Like, it'll hurt them, kill them type.
That's bad.
And that is like if you eat too much and you are afflicted with sneezing, no scientist is going to study this because it's like, look, man, that's your problem, and it's really from overeating. So,
Right?
you deserve it.
You did this to yourself.
But if it's some ports, all they want to do is go catch a tan, or just go out on a nice sunny day with their friends and they can't because they develop hives and sweating and die. Yeah, that's something worth studying and maybe trying to cure.
Right. Alright, back to the beer drinking. And the discussion. Oh, 5:30 Pacific Standard. No, Pacific Daylight Savings Time.
I never can tell. I always save daylight during the sun is so up. Don't you think saving daylight during the winter when there's not as much of it?
Well, that's because there's no. That was the whole reason we had daylight savings time.
I know, which is weird because it doesn't help the farmers at all.
Not anymore. 18 whatever it did. That's why there was all this discussion in the last 10. Not. I mean, there's some states that don't do it, like Arizona. doesn't do it. Yeah.
The only one I know of.
I mean, I don't know. There might be more, but I don't know.
Problem is, everyone, they all seem to want to stay on daylight saving time. No, standard time. Morning comes earlier. That's the one we want. Right? So we fall back. That's the one we stay on. Not this Doesn't matter. I mean, it's just all it is a marker throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so we're starting work at 5
I mean,
now.
the day actually are some artificial.
Yeah, we could
position.
divide it into 2 hours. There are only 2 hours in a day. We could do that. Each hour has 150,000 segments. How's that number? I don't know.
That's good.
Doesn't seem like that's easily divisible or keep
I mean,
trackable.
the whole purpose of time. Earth. Relative position of the sun based off where you. It's all artificial, you know.
You know, it would make more sense if you think, that's me, if we all went off Zulu time. And it's
Or
just
UTC. That's why in the internet world they use.
Right. It's like, what time is it? Well, the sun comes up. That's when the sun comes up. Now I know what time it is. What time is it? It's 18 here. Like, all right. And in England, 1800 is just a problem. But in the Pacific Northwest, 1800 is stupid early.
Early in the morning. Getting up to go to work.
Yep. Barely. But you're right. It's all contrived. It's all just something to help us organize.
Yeah. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just what people.
No,
did.
it's not a bad thing.
Organize
It's neither good nor
their
bad.
time.
It's just an organization.
Had to measure distance.
Right.
And make it so we're all kind of living in the same moment, in a sense. What's weird is some countries have like half hour. Ah, that's weird.
Yes, that's the Canadian Newfoundland.
Oh, okay.
1 o'clock and 1:30 in Newfoundland. Listen to the CBC. You'll hear that all the time. They say that. They say the time and then they add like. Which Newfoundland's on the other side, isn't it? It's on the East Coast.
On the East Coast.
Why is British Columbian Canadian radio talking about that?
Canada is more inclusive.
Yeah,
I
they'll
mean,
repress everyone. Listen to those people. All right, serious topic number 3. We're gonna share. So we've got viewer number 2 with us right now.
Oh, another lurker.
Yeah, he or she may or may not leave after this one.
Right.
But we are definitely the last best hope of the world. No lie, man. So
That sounds so arrogant, dude.
it does. I know.
It just
I
sounds
know.
so arrogant.
No offense, England. However, I was just reading article where there was a woman, I forget her name, pro-life activist. Activists. Activism is something active, right? Can't be a full-time activist. Lost a lot of my activist. I'm an activist, so you don't do it. Just
You have
bitch.
strong beliefs.
You have strong beliefs and you bitch about them and people. Okay, gotcha. Anyways, that's what this woman was. Pro-life. She was arrested for praying silently. Praying England. Frickin' England. Alright, that is not restricted speech. That is restricted thought. That is frickin' 1984 verbatim.
There are some things I've seen. I wish I could recall the exact. Related to England.
Right.
Some of the laws that England has right now are just like ridiculous.
Right.
Stuff like that level. It's like, why'd you get arrested? I don't need them.
Right.
What?
Now, apparently she was she was close to, now I don't know how close she was, close to an abortion. Now here's the catch. It was closed. Second time she
Where's
got
the
arrested.
crime here?
Right. The policeman told her, praying is offense.
What? Okay.
Right? Now, she just won a £13,000 settlement. The police department of whatever county or jurisdiction, they decided to give a settlement without admitting culpability. Of course, it's like, whatever. You can not admit, and we all know that you know you fucked up. Right? Now, by the way,
Definitely rated R now.
And yeah, I don't care. Anyways, English friends, we do not hate England. All right, we fully acknowledge that our country has a lot of flaws too.
I
We are
think
not
as a
perfect.
fact it was people are getting arrested for just
so the,
mundane things. It's like really
the trigonometry folks, they are big on free. One of the reasons they are. So Francis Foster Kissin.
Speaking of, you know who's really kind of being an activist?
Rowan
Recent-
Atkinson.
Yeah, there is some serious, like not even being a comedian thing, like a serious political rhetoric coming from him, based off recent events and check it out, man. Anyway,
Wow.
go ahead. But go ahead.
I
though.
will.
Trigonometry dudes.
Because that dude's hilarious. Well, anyways, one of the whole reasons that they started trigonometry, they were both stand-up comedians, and they were getting hammered for making jokes. Like, this is too far.
It's a joke. Yeah.
And so now they get accused of being conservatives, and neither one of them think they're conservatives. I hate to tell you guys, and I know you probably don't watch, but in case you are happening to watch this exact segment of this exact overly long
That would be
podcast,
truly amazing
would be.
if the trigonometry dudes actually watch it.
Anyhow, I hate to tell you this, but I agree with so much of what you say. I think you guys are drifting conservative. Maybe it's just because you're drifting common sense, and it is. All right, we're going to back up
Just
from
saying.
the controversy, and we're going to go back with the arrogant America is the world's last. And I'll tell you why it is, because we have that stuff codified. England does not have freedom written down as a right. Right? Neither does France, neither does Germany. France, we also have Fifth Amendment, Fourth Amendment, search and seizure, those things. Well, right after the Charlie Hebdo attack, and then that American Eagle, whatever that rock show was, where like people, terrorists just. And then there was a Jewish market that got shot up. And this is one of those tough questions, but France effectively said, yeah, no knock, no warrant, bust in house. It was an indefinite time period. Rolled it under emergency powers. But they just let it roll. And their police could just walk into people's houses. And in America, it's like, I'm sorry. Bam, bam. Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment. No, you do not get to come in.
The recent thing in El Salvador too was where
right,
the
and
police
that's
just kicked in doors and
yeah.
eradicated
And if
the gangs.
you were related to a gang member, it's like, but I'm not actually a gang member. Yeah, but we're pretty sure that you let
an
him
uncle or
sleep
cousin
here,
is,
and you haven't turned him in. So you know what? You're coming with us too. Yeah, scooping up 13,000, 20,000 people, and it's just like, in you go. Here's your boxers and your. That's what you wear. No shoes. Off you go. Everyone down on the floor in this huddle position. Those guys weren't arguing. These big, tough MS-13, they weren't arguing. So I think maybe some of them got shot in the head. Not sure.
Oh, there was probably a lot of people shot on spot. Anybody that probably, I'm just speculating, but anybody that resisted probably got shot.
Right. And
Like,
here's
you
the
know
thing.
what? You don't have rights right now. Pow.
Is it on the one hand, you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's kind of Hollywood. It's
Yeah.
so satisfying.
Right.
The bad guy gets
bad
his.
guy,
But the problem is that you gotta be careful, because when you just throw out those protections, that rolls, suddenly you're not the bad guy, but you are the bad guy. Just because they say. Again, I'm not a gang member. Yeah, but your mother's brother's uncle's first cousin's roommate's dog was owned by a gang member, and so we're arresting you. No, that's ridiculous. Kind of a Spaceballs reference. You know that.
Right.
What does that make us? Absolutely nothing. Point being, though, is that El Salvador. It's like this. On one hand, it's like they went from #1 murder country to how many countries there are in the world, and they were at the bottom. Well, it's like nobody getting killed in El Salvador, with the exception of drug dealers. And there's one other gang that they're with, just as nasty. Now, on the one hand, it's kind of easy to see the guy. they kind of mark themselves up because they declared, I'm MS-13. Oh, yeah, you are. Pop. Now you're not. Problem solved. What are you going to do? Let them rot. Somebody will clean them up. Not my job. But you make a good point. That whole just absolute trampling of what we in America consider basic human rights, right? That is a basic human right. So in England, women got arrested, and yeah, there are other things. People getting arrested, not just talked to, not banned from their social media platform of choice, arrested for making homophobic like that.
I think that's what I saw with England. Yeah, kind of homophobic thing.
And that's how the trigonometry guys came in. They're like, how many people in Russia over the last year? I'm going to make up the number, but Konstantin Kisin, because he is Russian. Right? He's an immigrant. He's like, guess how many people in Russia were arrested for making the wrong political statement? And the people will be like, Stalin's been dead for decades. They're like, we don't know. 300. He's it was 5. Like, there's a country where 1,300 people arrested statement for exercising their free speech. Guess which country it is? And of course, they would be wrong. It is England. Like that problem. But of course, England doesn't have free codified. Right? And again, we like England. I like England. I've been there. I had a great time there. It was so much fun. And we have our own problems. But, that's why I say America, kind of last best hope. Canada? Absolutely not. They don't give a shit about it. They will arrest you like go. Ask any Canadian. I mean, I'm sure there's some far lefties who. There's a lot of people not like Mexico. Think they care about human rights in Mexico? In order to get the free trade deal, Donald Trump had to put into his bill, you will pay your workers a competitive wage with American workers. Other than that, they'd be paying them $2 a day. Right. And you got all these other countries. I'm just saying, America's the last place that really has that. Now, a lot of people follow us, and it's not to say that we're not perfect. We do.
Oh, yeah,
we're messed up. One thing, our major beer companies make crap beer.
Oh.
This is a problem. Why can't Budweiser and Coors make good beer? Why? They have billions of dollars at their disposal. You'd think they could make good beer. But they can't. Make piss water. Anyway, so that's my arrogant American rant. Sorry about it. And part of it is that we have it codified. It's written into our. That really is. It's not because we're good people. It's not because our government is full of good people. I mean, our government was 100% around the backstage of Facebook and Twitter saying that account, don't let them that account take that. Facebook and Twitter, because then listening and were obeying. They were taking down his post because the United States government said to. That is a 100% infringement of freedom of speech. Cannot do that.
I don't like your post, so I'm gonna...
Twitter can do that if doesn't matter. The leader of Twitter before
Musk bought it.
Before Musk bought it.
Yeah.
Still amazing. He could say, I don't like what you say, right? I come into my house, I start spouting conservative rhetoric. You're like, I don't want to hear that. Get the hell out. Fully within your rights. Private resident.
And that is not a violation of freedom of speech.
Right. It's like, no, man.
That's what too many people don't understand. They think that freedom of speech means they can say what they want, when they want, where they want. It's like, no. There are consequences for the things you say based off.
Sometimes it's a broken nose.
Yeah. Your freedom of speech lets you speak out against the government openly and say, I disagree with the government. That's what freedom of speech, the underlying meaning of freedom of speech.
And when the government comes to a thing and says, do this. Like, no, man, the government needs to stay the hell out. It's like, no, it doesn't matter if you disagree. One of the reasons I like what Musk has done with Twitter. Now, is it the wild, wild west? Yes, it is. I mean, I use Twitter for my music stuff. I don't do anything political on there.
Weapon X.
Weapon X.
That's not my.
It's still good though.
I've heard that before. Because the Weapon X I know of was originally a comic book.
Hey, did you know something? So it's X.com, right? That is not the first time that Elon Musk has used .com.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
His first online banking platform before he merged with PayPal. A lot of people hacking. Now, I happen to enjoy Elon Musk because he's like the all-time troll, and it's like, oh, you trolled the SEC. Any guy that control the Securities and Exchange Commission. If you control the Securities and Exchange Commission, my hat's off to
You're
you.
good, right?
You are awesome. But he has a lot of beliefs. I absolutely don't. But he's come under a lot of fire because he hurt a lot of people. That's really what it is. They had all the social media platforms, very left-leaning, felt very secure, have all the platforms, have the voice. And Musk came in and bought one of the biggest ones. And now the reality is, so Twitter was not really competitive, but now Facebook is just what Zuckerberg. Cat videos. This want to go to the real heated debates in the wars? Over to Twitter or X.
Facebook is a side project. I think Meta is more interested in large language model stuff, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. Kind of like Facebook is old news. We're just going to keep Facebook running because we have a lot of people. But
right,
our new cash cow is going to be large language models and stuff. Whatever.
What do you mean by large language model?
So,
Because I don't.
let me give you an
understand
example of a small language model. So you have. So this goes into the big AI bubble. I use it very loosely. Not AI. I'm not talking about some Skynet or HAL 9000. A language model is literally like, imagine somebody took every line from every Shakespeare play, put it in a text document. That'd be a lot of words, right? Tiny language. So what you do is you would take all these lines of prose, feed it into this algorithm. So the algorithm parses all this information, and it finds patterns or what it thinks are numbers. You say stuff that that's how language. That's what a large language model is. It literally gigabytes, terabytes, whatever text. Lots of text, seemingly unstructured, fed into this model, and it parses it. It makes predictions based off what it thinks word to be. That's why people talk about using ChatGPT, which is a large language. This is a very 10,000 foot view. I'm not going to go super. This model has been fed gobs and gobs text and patterns. So when you feed it a question like, or what is this, what is that, it uses like a predictive analysis. It's all calculus and differential equations, and linear algebra and stuff. And if you were to plot it out, paper, but it takes it uses all this mathematical probability and statistical analysis, and it decides what it thinks the next word is going to be. So it creates this answer that seems almost in some sense based off probability of what everything in its input, all this language input, what it thinks it needs to answer based off. That's why they call it AI, because it's literally taking text input and determining probability that this is the correct output. Right. So the language model is literally the sets of words, like library. Like let's say if you took the Library of Congress, put it in text, or like I said, Shakespeare. That's the input to the code. It's code. Use it perfect. Diction. Oh, you predict. Use it. You use it. You know, people who use ChatGPT, they're trying to find an answer to. Pose it a question. Or write me a paper. So what it does is it writes a paper that it thinks is correct ordering and structure of words based off its language. I hear about people using ChatGPT, like college students trying to cheat in ChatGPT papers.
Right.
Feed in want like this natural language too. It's like I want a 6,000 word paper, blah blah blah, with at least 25 sources, blah blah blah. So it takes all this input based off all this mathematical models, which it produces these. If you were to graph them, it would be like a gradient. So it applies all this math to these inputs, produces the output. Uses how this works is all that internet data and such that's been fed into this machine. Looks for these patterns, typically called unstructured data. Looks for these patterns and goes, oh, this. Really writes a paper.
Mm-hmm.
It spits out an answer. That's just ChatGPT. There's other uses for AI technologies, deep learning and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't want to get crazy.
Yeah, but hey, sit down for a minute. All right, that's the bell, and we forgot to sanitize a couple things, so we're done.
Yeah.
So hey, as always, relax.
Don't worry.
Have a cold.
Homebrew. You have a cold brew.
Hey,
Make sure it comes from your own beer.
Right. So we're gonna try this one more time. Relax.
Don't worry.
Have a home brew.
Have a homebrew.
Thanks for hanging out, whoever you were. If you made it this far and actually watched the whole video, you're crazy. But hey, we love you anyways. All right. Bye-bye.
I'm not some like huge
Yep. Nope, I hear you.